How's it going, everyone? And welcome to Cobra Kai Studio for another fan questions video, where we just sit here and debate about questions that you and myself and many others have about the show. Well, let's get right into it. We're going to start off with Scott. If Allie does make an appearance in Season 3, do you think she will come alone? Or do you think she will introduce her siblings or possibly her kids? And maybe she doesn't have like a big role. Maybe she just has a small like little snippet in it or some kind of smaller role. But maybe her siblings or possibly her kids might in some way play a role into the show moving forward. That's interesting to think about. To be honest, I never even thought about the possibility of her kids maybe making an appearance in the show. But let's say her kids are, like the same age as Miguel and them. What if that is like a way that they make an appearance? Just for, let's just say for some weird reason, Allie decides to move back. And maybe we see her kids more introduced into like joining maybe Miyagido or, for better say Cobra Kai, etc. What do you think? Do you think that we might see that in some way? I'm not going to say that there's any proof on that. I did try to look up and kind of see if we could find any like little teasers to that, and there's really nothing on that. But at the same time, I could see that playing out, and at least maybe for one episode, if not, more than one episode. It would be an interesting way for them to bring Allie back and then kind of keep Allie, in the show in a sense, because if her kids were to, take on a bigger role, then we'll probably still see her in some way. Now, I would say that probably won't happen in Season 3, though. If anything, they're just going to kind of introduce her back to the show. And hell, she might only be in there for one episode. But I like that idea in theory, Scott. That's a hell of an idea. I haven't seen no one talk about that. And me personally, I never even thought about it like that. And hell, it could happen, I wouldn't say that that's not something that we could expect to see. I would actually kind of think that it would be interesting, because that would add some new characters to the show, some new faces that we haven't already, been accustomed to or got to see. So, yeah, I kind of like that idea. That would be kind of interesting to see. On to the next comment from Young Gun. The most important thing we want to know, did Stingray get the job? That's funny, Young Gun. Right? Did he get the job? A lot of people wonder if he's even going to be in Season 3 moving forward, or if what's going to be his little situation in the whole school fight, what's going to be the outcome to him, because as many of you stated, he's a grown-ass man fighting kids. But he's got the mind of a kid, so was he really in the wrong? No, I just thought that's funny. But yeah, did he get the job? What do you think? Do you think he got the job? On to the next comment from Scott. Will John Crease be around past Season 3, or do you think this might be his last season? Okay. There's a lot of speculation on this. It's going to kind of, I guess, if he doesn't die in Season 3, then I'm assuming, he's going to be around for many more seasons. But if for any reason John Crease is one of the people that they're going to kill off in the show, then obviously, no, he's not going to be around as far as his character. I'm sure he'll still be mentioned in some way, regardless whether he's around or not. But I just feel like they're not quite done with John Crease yet. That's why I don't think that he's the one that's going to die in Season 3. I feel like he's going to be around at least till Season 4. And I guess that's going to kind of depend on if, Terry Silvers comes back, which Bonsai Kai Dojo is right above yours. It says, I want to see the man, the myth, the legends, Terry Silver return. I agree. That would be badass, huh, Sensei? 100%. I fully agree on that. I would like to see Silver's return. And, of course, Mike Barnes as well. I would like to see both of them actually play some kind of role in Season 3 to begin with. I don't know if we're going to see both of them in Season 3 or any of them in Season 3, but I would love to. On to the next comment. Why is Johnny in Miguel's room in the trailer? You know what? I thought of that too, Young Gun. I'm wondering if he didn't sneak in to see Miguel, I'm wondering if that's what happened. That kind of had me confused at first when I first watched it. I was like, was he in his room? Because if so, that's where I think a lot of people are getting the theory and ideas that Johnny might get arrested because Carmen might have him thrown in jail for maybe whatever reason. Some people speculate she might have a restraining order on him. Yada, yada, yada. I just don't know. But I'm imagining, regardless of the situation, he had to see how Miguel was doing. So I'm imagining whether he had to sneak in there, had to, pretend to be someone he's not. Maybe he pretended to be Miguel's dad or something so he could get in to see Miguel. I don't know, though. There's a lot of things, I guess, that he could do to actually see Miguel. But that's my speculation, is that maybe he pretended to be somebody so he could see him. What do you think, though? How do you think that Johnny was even able to get in there to see Miguel? Considering the whole him and Carmen conflict. Kind of interesting, huh? On to the next question from Aaron. What if John Crease burns down Mr. Miyagi's house or destroys his grave? Damn. You're going deep with that one, ain't you, Aaron? I don't know if they would do that. I mean, I could see Crease maybe having something done to Mr. Miyagi's house because of the, he had his students, obviously hawking them go and vandalize it. So I wouldn't rule that past Crease to do that. I mean, it seems like just up the alley from something Crease would do. Now, I don't think he would defile or destroy Miyagi's grave. I don't think he'd go that deep into it. But then again, I don't know. What do you think? You think Crease is that much of a badass that he's gonna not only destroy the Miyagi house and dojo, but also destroy Miyagi's grave? Do you think so? I don't know. It's an interesting question, Aaron. That makes you think for sure. It's like, damn, how deep can Crease get? On to the next one from Aaron. What if Hawk loses the All-Valley tournament? Will Crease get mad at him for not winning? If for any reason they do make that return to the All-Valley tournament in Season 3 and Hawk or whoever's to lose, hell yeah, I think Crease will get mad. That's a Crease move 100%. So I would say, yeah, I can probably assume without a doubt that he would do that. What do you think? Do you feel like the Crease would change, or you think he's going to still be his same self that would just go fly off the handle for them losing? I don't think he's going to change to where he wouldn't, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion. That's just how I would see Crease playing that out, He is really crazy, so I wouldn't put it past him in any way, On to the next one. What happened to Stingray after the school fight? He was not in the dojo. That's true. He really wasn't, huh? Whenever Johnny goes to realize that Crease stole it from him. Some people speculate that he didn't even really steal it from him, that it was technically Crease's to begin with. How do you feel about that? On to a whole different question from myself to you. How do you feel about that? Do you think that Crease was technically the rightful owner of Cobra Kai to begin with? Not even including Silvers. Let's not include Silvers here for a minute. Just between Johnny and Crease. Out of the two, who do you feel had the more rightfulness to actually take ownership of the dojo? A lot of people speculate that Crease was kind of in the right because technically it should have been his dojo to begin with. And Johnny kind of just started a dojo that wasn't even started by him to begin with. So it's like, that'd be like me. Okay, my master's brand was Wu Lee Martial Arts here in New Mexico when he had it going. That'd be like me just, without his permission, just going and open up an exact, pretty much copy, without asking him, without telling him. In my opinion, he'd have every right to just come and take that studio from me. So, I get the point there, but at the end of the day, I don't know. It's kind of just going to depend on where you stand and how you feel about it, I guess. I don't know. That one's kind of a hard one to think of. But back to that question. I don't know. That's a good question, Aaron. I don't know where Stingray might have been. Some people speculate that he got arrested because he's an adult fighting kids, Maybe he's arrested too, I wouldn't rule it past him. Some people even speculated that that's who Johnny was talking to in the jail if he wasn't the one that got arrested. But let's be honest here. You watch that scene, it looks like Johnny was in like a drunk tank or holding cell. I mean, there's other people in that cell with him, and it doesn't look like he's on the outside of the bars, in my opinion. It looks like there's people sitting down against a brick wall, and it's not like a waiting room, in my opinion. So I feel like, yeah, he's arrested in some way for something. What that something is, I guess, January 8th, we'll figure it out, huh? Okay, on to the next one. Will Miguel defend his championship? A lot of people have asked this question, and my opinion is that's going to very much so depend on how they run things at the All-Valley Karate Tournament, for the fact of, does Miguel have to participate as Cobra Kai to still remain the championship and defend the championship, or is the championship just attached to him, so that, in other words, he can be in any dojo and he's still going to be the champion? Now, if that's the case, then yeah, I can see that happening. But say he doesn't stay with Cobra Kai and ends up fighting in the tournament again later down the lines, whether it be Miyagido or whatever other school, whatever, Johnny might start, whatever could happen, there's thousands of possibilities there. I don't know. I would say that, yeah, he should be able to defend it. But, I don't know. I guess that's just going to depend on how things are actually playing out on the show, how the rules of the All-Valley Karate Tournament actually are for the show, and whether or not he stays with Cobra Kai, I mean, he could very easily leave Cobra Kai and join another dojo. It wouldn't be too shocking to me for that to happen, in my opinion. On to the next one. How will Robbie and Miguel fight again? The writer said Miguel will get revenge. That's very true, Young Gun. I'm curious to that, too. Now, obviously, I don't think that'll be something we see, at least not in the first few episodes, because with Miguel being injured like he is, I don't think he's going to be able to, fight Robbie right away. But I think towards the end of Season 3, we might get that fight again. Now, I don't think it's going to be like the school fight, but I feel like it's going to be just as interesting and just as mind-puzzling as the school fight was. Now, I don't think we're going to get left on a huge cliffhanger, but maybe like episode 8, episode 9. I don't think episode 10, though, exactly, because I feel like there's going to be something that they're going to leave us on a cliffhanger that's going to blow our mind, and I don't think that's going to have anything to do with Miguel again. I feel like it's going to have something to do with something else along that lines. He might be involved, but I don't think it's going to be about him, per se, because, I mean, the cliffhanger they already did with him was a hell of a cliffhanger. I mean, we're still wondering what all exactly happened to him, and we're still getting closer, but at the same time, it's like, damn it, January 8th is so far away still. We still got to wait through Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. But at least it's coming, I guess. On to the next one. Will Carmen stop blaming Johnny for what happened to Miguel? I think eventually she will indeed stop blaming Johnny, at least maybe fully, but I don't think it's going to happen right away. I think something's going to have to, like, help change her mind on that, because she seemed pretty damn set on Johnny was this horrible person, ruined her son's life, got her son hurt, you know. Obviously, she didn't really overreact. She was a mom whose son got severely injured. I think anybody's mom, you know, that cared about them like that would honestly be the same way, you know. She's going to obviously want to keep her son safe, and she's going to feel like the karate is what caused it. So obviously, I can see her point in, you know, wanting to stop the whole him being trained and all that. I just, you know, it's kind of expected, to be honest. A mom's going to react like that. But that's just my opinion, Aaron. On to the next one. Do you think that John Crease will get Robbie out of jail? There's a huge amount of speculation of that, you know. And I guess that depends. Bonsai Kai Dojo kind of made a good point that maybe Robbie might get tried as an adult. And if he gets tried as an adult, he can damn sure be bailed out. You know what I mean? And I could like 100% see Crease doing that to try to get Robbie on his side. You know what I mean? How would be a better way to get back at Johnny even more than to get his own son on your side, you know? So I actually like that idea, Aaron. And I could honestly see that playing out in some kind of a way. Especially say Robbie does get tried as an adult. Then bail will be posted for him. And maybe Crease is the one. You know, Crease has always been about, we need to get your son here at the dojo. And that was even before things went south. But I feel like Crease would still have that same mindset that he would want to get Johnny's son in on his side and start training him. Make him a badass in his own way. Make him more ruthless. And just like another way to get back at Johnny. But what do you think? Do you think that Crease will go out of his way to get Robbie out of a jail? Let's just say that there's some way that Robbie could be taken out of jail, bailed out, whatever be the case. Maybe Crease even finds a way to get his charges dropped, you know what I mean? If his charges get dropped, he's going to be released whether he's a minor or an adult. So, it kind of makes you wonder. We don't know what all roles Crease could play behind the show, who all he might know, you know what I mean? Makes you think. Especially because he might have some serious connections with Silver still, and Silver's might have some bigger connections than we even know. So, it's nice to think about that. Alright, on to the next one. This one's an interesting theory from Young Gun. I had this theory for a long time. I know Cobra Kai Theory did a theory on this, but I had this months before him. What if the Miyagi healing technique heals Miguel's back? Maybe Daniel learned it when he goes to Okinawa. Or if Daniel took Johnny, he does the technique. That's why he's in Miguel's room. But it probably isn't Johnny who does it. That's interesting as hell. I didn't think about that. I mean, let's just speculate here for a minute. What if Chosen knows this said technique, or someone else there in Okinawa knows this technique and does indeed teach Daniel? Or Johnny, for that matter. If Johnny does go, and so many people are coming to this conclusion that they think Johnny might actually go to Okinawa, and you know what? I'm starting to believe it myself, you know? Maybe he does go to Okinawa with Daniel. It would be a very interesting way for them to bond, I guess you could say. And it'd be different in a lot of ways, but I feel like it could actually play out perfect if they did that. Now it's making me hope that this happens. But that's interesting. So let's say that for some reason Johnny or Daniel learns this healing technique. What if it does actually help Miguel and they, you know, like secretively trying to help heal him? You know, obviously without his mom knowing, because let's be honest, if Carmen comes in and sees them touching Miguel, she's going to flip. Just, you know, she would. But that's interesting, Young Gun. I love that theory. That's a hell of a theory. That's a nice one. On to the next comment. What if Miguel and Robbie try to fight Crease or just Miguel? That's interesting, Young Gun. So you're like saying, like, what if after, say, he's healed or whatever, maybe they go and try to fight Crease? Because, well, that's going to depend on how, I guess, Miguel sees Crease in the whole Johnny situation, you know, and how he's going to feel about Crease taking over and kind of just kicking Johnny to the curb. Me personally, I feel like Miguel is going to 100% be Team Johnny still, and I don't think he's going to be Team Crease. But let's say that he isn't Team Crease. I could see Miguel maybe trying to start things, and I could see Mr. Crease Jr., a.k.a. Hawk, jumping in the middle. But I feel like Miguel would beat the hell out of Hawk, though, still. I still feel like, even with the injuries, I still think Miguel's a better fighter than Hawk. So that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Obviously, though, Hawk's going to have more time to train now and learn some more crookedness from Crease. So maybe not. Maybe Johnny will have to teach Miguel some things of his own that could help defend against that. Because I don't know. It's interesting to think of how Hawk might end up progressing in the time being of Miguel being injured. You know what I mean? Same with Robbie. If Robbie's in jail, he's not going to be able to train the same way. I mean, yeah, you can still train in jail easily, but it's not going to be like the same experience, and it's not going to be the same kind of training. But that's an interesting one, too. On to the next one. What if Sam wants revenge on Tori? I don't know. I could see Sam being spiteful, hands down, still. I could see her having some kind of spite against Tori, and maybe she does want some revenge on Tori in some way. Although, in all honesty, I mean, Sam caused everything. She kissed Miguel. She's the whole damn reason things happened the way they did. Yeah, Tori started the school fight, so you can kind of place blame on both because, you know, Tori reacted in the wrong way and started the fight, obviously. But at the same time, that fight wouldn't have happened if Sam didn't kiss Miguel. You know what I mean? And you can't just say it's only because Tori's seen it. Well, it still shouldn't happen, you know what I mean? Miguel was with Tori regardless of the situation, so Sam shouldn't have kissed Miguel. That's how it is. Now, obviously, she ain't ever gonna take responsibility for her own downside. I just don't see her ever doing that, but maybe she will. Maybe she'll surprise us. I know most of y'all agree with me on that, though. She's in her own damn head. On to the next one. What if Daniel kills Crease because he wants to end all the stuff? Everyone is getting hurt because of Crease, so Daniel breaks his neck the same way Miyagi was going to. Damn. Young Gun's going hardcore on that one, huh? That would be interesting to see because, let's be honest, I think Daniel could indeed do that. I think Daniel could take Crease down. I really do. I feel like Daniel would win in a fight against Crease as long as Crease didn't do something too damn dirty against Daniel in the fight to cause Daniel to get hurt or something like that. I can see Crease being the type to throw sand in his face and then kick him in the, you know where. I'm just saying, I can see Crease being like that. But, I don't know, Young Gun. I don't know that we'll see that happen. But I'm not going to lie. That would be interesting if we did see them two trying to kill each other, I guess you could say. I don't know if we'll ever see either one of them kill each other, but damn, that would be interesting. On to the next one from Aaron. Will there be a rematch between Miguel and Robbie, Tori and Sam, Hawk and Dimitri in the All Valley tournament? I don't know, man. I hope so. I think that would make for the very, very best way to do the All Valley tournament is to get all the rivals to fight each other. And maybe even Daniel and Johnny get into it just for old time's sakes. I mean, they can't compete in the All Valley tournament because they're way over 18 by now. So, yeah, they can't compete in it. But, that'd be interesting. I would say that I would say there's at least a 50% chance that we might see that, Aaron. I'm not going to say that we won't. I'm not going to even close to say that we will because, hell, they might not ever revisit the All Valley Karate tournament again. Some people speculate that the matches we've seen in Season 1 is all we're ever going to see of the All Valley Karate tournament again. I don't think that that's for sure true. I could kind of see where they're coming from with that, though, but a lot of people speculate, well, they're going to get too old to be able to, compete. But not exactly for say. At least not in Season 3 or Season 4. Now, they might get older as we go. It's just going to depend on how much time passes between each season and in the actual show itself. Because, let's be honest, all the actors are pretty much over 18 already as it is. So, I mean, they're playing kids anyway. So, maybe not. Maybe we will indeed get a revisit to the All Valley tournament circa Season 4 into Season 3. I guess this is going to depend. But what do you think? Do you think we're going to get a All Valley Karate tournament again? And do you think all these rivalries and rivals are going to actually get to throw the hands down again? See who actually is the best? On to the next one. Will Amanda stop blaming Daniel for what happened to Sam at the school fight? Eventually, I think she will. I know most people don't like Amanda, but I could see her coming to conclusions of what happened because, let's be honest, it's just a mom that cares about her daughter, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, moms get pissed off for a little bit. They hold grudges. They change, though. These grudges disappear. Their feelings about stuff changes. So maybe I would assume that along the lines that she'll eventually stop, thinking that way. I don't know, though. On to the next question from Kung Lao, a.k.a. Cobra Kai Never Dies. I wonder where the season finale will take place. Like, where it actually will take place? Huh. That's a good question. I don't know. I guess you can assume that it would take place in the same area as any of the other seasons, but let's just, for some reason, speculate that the whole Daniel going to Okinawa is actually towards the end of the show, end of the season 3. Then, who knows, it might even end in Okinawa. Now, I don't personally believe that myself, just an observational opinion here, that could happen maybe, only though if Daniel going to Okinawa takes place later on in the show, later on in the season. I don't think that's how it's going to take place. I feel like between episode 3, 4 to episode 6 and 7 is where he's going to go to Okinawa. Somewhere in the middle there, maybe, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to take place in the valley or something like that still, somewhere along that lines. I don't know. What do you think? Where do you think that the season finale is going to take place at? On to the next one. Will Daniel's mom tell Amanda to let Daniel teach karate again? I could see his mom being like that for sure. Now, whether Amanda takes that advice or not, I would say no, because they don't seem to get along in any kind of way. So I don't see her listening to Daniel's mom, if you would, in my opinion. I don't see that happening. Not to say that she won't, but I don't see it happening at all. What do you think, though? You think that Daniel's mom will tell Amanda to let Daniel teach karate again? And on a bigger note, do you think that Amanda will actually listen? Like, seriously? I don't know if she will. I don't know. I don't think she will. On to the next one from Young Gun. What if Terry Silvers buys more Cobra Kai dojos? Or what if he built more in general? You know what I mean? There's a lot of speculation about that, but in my opinion, if for any reason he did, there'll probably only be like little flashbacks or little mentions here and there, because I think they're going to mainly focus on the Cobra Kai dojo that was started by Johnny, and that now ran by Crease. I feel like that's just like the center of attention, so even if there is to be more, I don't think they'll play too big of a role into the show itself. Now, I could be completely ass wrong there, but just my opinion, I don't think that they will. Let me know how you feel, though. What do you think, Young Gun? Do you feel like maybe he owns more Cobra Kais and maybe they will play a bigger role into upcoming seasons? Because they might. I mean, they really might. I guess you can't rule it out 100%. These writers are throwing curveballs left and right at us, so hell, who knows? On to the next one. Will Hawk join Miyagido in season 4? Oh, man, I'm going to say no, Aaron. I don't think Hawk will ever leave Crease. I feel like he's a Cobra Kai forever. I don't feel like in any way Hawk will join Miyagido. I don't. I feel like he's going to be a Cobra Kai from now until we see Hawk either leave the show or the show concludes and ends. I don't think he'll ever leave Cobra Kai. On to the next one. Will Bobby or Jimmy return? I've seen some speculation of Jimmy returning. Not so much on Bobby. So, I don't know. That's an interesting Young Gun. But, as I said just a little bit ago, the creators and writers of the show, they throw some crazy curveballs at us and throw some things in that we wouldn't even expect. So, I wouldn't put it past them to bring them back. Both of them, honestly. I mean, but at the same time, they don't actually have to bring anybody back. They have so many new members that they could bring onto the show, and the show is still going to be badass. They already have quite a bit of the older cast as it is, so it's not exactly needed to bring older people back, but at the same time, I would love to see more of the original Karate Kid movie cast, second Karate Kid, third Karate Kid, etc. Not the fourth one. We don't talk about that remake. Not to say that they won't. I've heard people ask me plenty of questions if they think Jaden Smith might return or something. I don't. And if he does, I imagine it's going to be a small role and he won't play the same kind of role. Bigger question is here, would you even want him to return? I mean, in all honesty, who here is actually a fan of the new Karate Kid? The most recent Karate Kid movie? Let's see all the hands down, because I don't see anybody raising their hand, really. My wife, unfortunately, loves that damn movie. Me, I'm not a fan of it. I just felt like, I don't know. It's almost like it was its own movie. It wasn't really even like, it wasn't like the Karate Kid. It was like it's its own thing, you know what I mean? But I guess they tried at least. I don't know. What if Daniel gets Robbie out of prison? A lot of people are speculating between Robbie, Crees, Johnny. I guess any of them honestly could get him out of jail. Just depending on the situation of how he was tried. If he was tried as an adult or a minor. But even at that, maybe they could get the charges dropped and still get him out. I guess any of the three would have a chance. Johnny, Crease, Daniel. I guess any of them could technically maybe figure out a way to get him out. The question is, if they do, who will it be? I would speculate above all, maybe, actually, I like that Crease idea. I feel like I could see Crease really doing that. I could see him going behind Johnny's back, taking his son out of jail, and bringing his son on his side. I could see it. I don't know why. Especially if Miguel is not going to be in Cobra Kai anymore. You know what I mean? Especially if that's the case. On to the next one from Jim. How Daniel is responsible for Crease's death. Daniel meets Chosen in Okinawa. Chosen teaches Daniel how to use weapons. Miyagi's secret. Quotation marks. And then Daniel meets up with Johnny at the dojo. He ends up killing Crease, season 3, episode 10, give or take. How? Because Daniel gets manipulated easily. Hence, Terry Silver and Chosen manipulates Daniel in regards to weapon using, and Daniel, being a hothead, shows no mercy towards Crease, much like how Robbie did with Miguel, and ends up killing Crease. Why he's crying sad in the new season 3 trailer? My guess is the clip of him is sad is the last episode. Oh, so like him being like upset with himself for what happened, huh? I like that theory, Jim. That's a hell of a theory. Kind of just puzzled me there. I don't know. That one's hard to think about, man. Like, I could see that happening, though, kind of. I kind of could, you know? Especially because we do see Daniel training with weapons, and it's like, what is that going to play into the role? You know, what is that going to play into moving forward? And if that's the case, does that mean that Daniel's going to go to jail for murder? You know what I mean? Like, that's a hell of a way to take Daniel out of the situation, though, moving forward, though. So that's the only reason I would say no, is because I feel like they would have to want to write Daniel off out of the show or have him sitting in jail moving forward. And I don't think they would want to do that. But let's just say something similar that happens, but he don't actually kill Crease, just hurts him. That I could see happening, and I could see Crease being a little titty baby about it and getting him in trouble still, though. So I don't know. That's a hell of a theory. I like that theory. On to the next question from Aaron, which will actually be the last question for tonight. Will Chosen want his money back and challenge him to break ice like Karate Kid Part 2? I'm assuming you're talking about with Daniel. I don't know. That one's interesting, Aaron. I guess that's going to very, very much so depend on how the whole Daniel and Chosen scene plays out when he gets to Okinawa, huh? That's going to be pretty interesting to see. I'm sure there's going to be some backstory that we'll find out about Chosen as well as Daniel when they get there. You know, once they get to this Okinawa scenes or whatever we want to call it, episode, depending on how long that he's going to be in Okinawa. Regardless, that's a hell of an idea, though. I'm curious to see how that what all they're going to actually throw at us in season 3. There's so much that they hinted at and so much that they've edged on to be seen in season 3 that it's like, damn, I can't even wait. It's going to be exciting as hell when January 8th gets here. But I guess, you know, that's the last question. We're almost at the 30-minute mark, and this video was only made for around 30 minutes of voiceover, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, as they would say, but please feel free to keep these comments and theories and questions going, because, you know, these are a lot of fun to make. I enjoy sitting here and just kind of debating and talking about all these ideas together with y'all. Obviously, if I get to 1,000 subscribers, these will be a lot more interactive, because I'll be able to go live and do these versus just making the video and then you got to wait till the next day to actually see your damn question answered. So, obviously, we want to hurry up and get to 1,000 subscribers, so that way we can start doing these live. Because obviously there'd be a lot more fun, I feel like. We'd be able to answer the questions as you're asking them. We can all debate about them right then and there. But until then, you know, I'm going to keep doing these, you know. They're a lot of fun. I enjoy making them. I enjoy coming up with different loops to put in the background. Different trailer type things to show off that it's a fan question video and all that. So, you know, and I'm getting better as I go. It's a learning process. I'm learning as I go. Because obviously my channel's just barely at a month old now, so I guess I'm not doing too bad. You know, it's a learning process. Got to start somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I'm going to say thank you to everyone that's watching. Thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you, Bonsai Kai Dojo. And as always, stay badass. See you in the next one, everyone. Have a good one.